This is my review of The Alamo from 2004. It stars Billy Bob Thornton, Dennis Quaid, Jason Patrick, Patrick Wilson, and Zoe Dorshell, Emilio Echeverria, Jordi Malia, Leon Rippey, and a ton of other actors. Again, I've been reading the cast list because I have to like look up the cast list because I'm not too good with remembering names. But remember, this is a very good movie with a very good cast. All the actors in this movie do great. The Jason Patrick is great as Jim Bowie, and well, Patrick Wilson is great as Travis, and Billy Bob Thornton's great as Crockett. Sam Houston's great as not, Dennis Quaid is great as Sam Houston, and the Emilio, whatever, he's great as Santa Anna. He plays him as a pretty good dictator. Yeah. You know the story of the Alamo. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Crockett, Travis, Bowie, and all the other defenders, the white rebels, some of them were white, some of them were Hispanic. They all died fighting for the Texas cause in the Battle of the Alamo during the Texas Revolution in the 1830s. Texas was trying to secede from Mexico and become its own independent country, but the dictator of Mexico, Santa Anna, wasn't having it, so he led troops in there to attack them, and the battle began, and the war began. And the Texans won their independence, not at the Alamo, at San Jacinto. And this is a good movie. It's like 2 hours and 18 minutes long, which is good. It didn't need to be a 3 hour epic like that John Wayne version. And I love the John Wayne version of it. I love this one because it's more because it's more accurate. It tells the story more accurately. It portrays each figure as like a complex figure. Well, Sam Houston's a bit more. That's Sam Houston. Santa Anna is more of a dictator, as he was. Yeah, he was hated not just by the people in Texas, but by the people in Mexico who saw him as a tyrant. Eh, His tyranny is displayed when in one scene where he captures some Texas rebels, and instead of either offering them a pardon or like putting them on trial first, he just like has them executed immediately in cold blood and said it's a democratic solution. Like, you don't know what democracy is, buddy. And the Dennis Quaid is great as Sam Houston. It's the best performance of Sam Houston I've seen. Probably Sam Elliott. I like Sam Elliott's portrayal of Sam Houston in the Gone to Texas TV movie. But I like this one the most. He is the he's a real badass. He's like in this scene where he's debating with this politician he doesn't like. They're arguing on the Senate floor, and he's like, "Hey, you're a Scottish catamite," and he's like, "What you call me?" And Houston said, "You're a Scottish catamite." And that guy draws a knife and comes at him. And Jim Bowie comes in and just talks him into stopping the fight. If you don't know what a catamite is, don't look it up. I had never heard it before, and I had to look it up, and you don't want to know what it is. Um, but anyway, yeah, it portrays the frenemy relationship between Bowie and Travis correctly. Like a lot of movies always portray like fighting alongside each other, even though like Bowie doesn't like Travis to be in command of him, and he thinks Travis is a hothead, while Travis thinks Bowie's a drunken loser, and like, it portrays all these characters as flawed. Bowie has a drinking problem. He is a slave owner. He owns a slave. I mean, he took one of his slaves with him to the Alamo, and there's a scene where he tells this slave, "Hey, you go there behind the Mexican lines because in Mexico slavery is illegal, and so if you went hid behind the lines until the battle was over, he would have been fine." And he said, "Are you setting me free?" And he said, "No, you're my property until you die." Yeah. And there's another scene where he's talking to Travis, yeah, and he says, You have any whiskey?" And Travis said, "You know I don't drink, Jim. I gamble. I go to whores. Drinking's where I draw the line." Yeah. And Crockett, he's portrayed as less legendary and more. All these characters are still heroes, regardless of the flaws that are shown. But Crockett, he's he like the coonskin cap. He is seen wearing it when he goes to the Alamo, but he doesn't wear it for the rest of the movie. He says he only wore it because the actor who plays him in a play in the opening scene, he started wearing that. And that's how he wore it, and he said that the only skirmish he ever been in the Indian War was this one where these Indians were hiding in this hut and they were shooting at him, and the house hut caught on fire, and the Indians burnt to death, and the grease from their dead bodies got onto these potatoes that were in the cellar, and the soldiers ate them, and it disgusted Crockett, and they didn't eat the Indians; they ate the potatoes that got their dead bodies grease on them. And he's like, every time people pass potatoes, ever since then, I pass them right back. Yeah, that's such a terrible scene, and this is a skirmish scene where with the Mexicans, where Crockett, one of the soldiers that Crockett kills, when they come at him, he finds out that he's just a teenage boy, and he's like lying there dying, like, and Crockett says, "Hey boy, what's your name? I mean, where do you live? I'll get someone to take you home." But then, and then after he goes back in the Alamo, and everybody was cheering for him for winning, he's all upset that he shot that kid, and doing the big siege of the Alamo. It happens at night at this one, in this one because that's when it happened. I mean, it was early in the morning, but it was still dark, which why the probably one of the main reasons why the Texans lost the battle, because it was a sneak attack at night. Well, it was still morning, but you get what I mean. And after the battle, they show Crockett being executed because a lot of the survivors who did try to surrender, Santana was so angry, and he told his soldiers to like draw their swords and bayonets and hack them to death. Because he saw these people as like basically terrorists when they weren't terrorists. I'm sure some of them committed atrocities, but atrocities were committed on both sides, like in every war. And Jody Malaya, he does a good job playing once again the Mexican who's with the Texas rebels, and he goes to Sam Houston to deliver a message for help. And when he gets to the camp, after he delivers a message, Houston makes him stay there. And after the war, he does return to the Alamo to bury the ashes of his friends who were burned. But, yeah, and the battles are very intense. Like for a PG-13 movie, it's very intense. Well, PG-13 movies can be intense, but it's done in a very intense way. It just shocks you sometimes. And in the revenge attack by Sam Houston and his men when he shot "Remember the Alamo" and they led them into battle at San Jacinto, where they stormed Santa Ana's camp, and it was like basically a massacre, but with the retreating Mexicans running into this river, and were like hacked and butchered with knives and tomahawks. And then when they captured Santa Ana, because he deserted his own command under fire, and Houston said, they all said, "We need to hang him right here." And Houston said, "No, they'll settle for blood. I want Texas." Yeah, such a powerful scene. That was a very humane thing for Houston to do, and he did the right thing by letting him go, and and because he settled it peacefully and diplomatically. That's the right. I think a coward like that deserves to live in shame instead of getting getting shot. That's what Santa Ana deserved. And this is a good movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. I know it seen a lot of negative criticism, and it bombed at the box office. I mean, I was one of the people who wanted to see it when it came out because I was in 6th grade and I was a big history buff. But I didn't get to see it then at the theater. I saw it on DVD, and anyway, this is a really good movie, and I highly recommend it to anyone who's seen it. I know I've spoiled it, but anyone who knows the story of the Alamo, it's basically already spoiled. But I digress. All right. God bless y'all and have a good day.